All right, we're getting ready to get started. Actually, I need to pull up my agenda because I haven't done that. So give me not together today. It is, just a quick housekeeping note around the committee assignments. I didn't send anything out because I thought it was important that we discussed the date. So I know a lot of people jumped in, but I really wanted us to finalize something around the date. So before we get started, I just want to say, welcome to the Class of '85 reunion meeting. For those of you who are able to watch this on Google Live, you should be able to submit questions as we move along. For those of you who are watching through the YouTube broadcast, if you have any questions during the meeting, you can always submit that stuff to me via Facebook Messenger. That goes for anybody, actually. And I prefer to actually get the questions live through Facebook Messenger because I can see them in real time as we move forward. So if you're my Facebook friend, and I'm sure most of you are, if you have a question live, submit that to me through the Facebook Messenger app if you are watching this through your at home through your Facebook application. All right. So I really want to get down to the nitty gritty on a few things. I'm looking at the. I want to discuss something about participation. From the last meeting, I got a lot of Facebook inbox messages around people wanting to volunteer in certain different areas, and that's great. I love that. But I also want I want to pull back for a minute and ask us to think about what this reunion will mean for all of us. Not me. I'm surprised that sometimes people inbox me messages and they say things like, I won't be able to make your meeting. And I have to always remind them, it's not my meeting, it's our meeting. This is not Tim Benston. This is Tim Benston trying to facilitate this process. I don't want us to think that, it's all about me or it's all on my shoulders. I certainly don't want to bear that responsibility. I don't want to make decisions for everybody. I really just want to spearhead it and jumpstart the process. I was a little disappointed because I put the voting up for the reunion meeting. And I know in our Facebook group, we have about 105 people, but only 17 people voted. What that means is that if you don't vote, you don't have a right to, comment or say what's working in your favor and what's not. So I strongly encourage classmates to vote. When I put the voting up, and there'll be lots of times when we have to come to, we can't decide something by consensus, that we may have to take it to the group to vote. Vote. It only takes a couple of minutes, and the voting is usually left up for a while. So if you vote, please encourage your classmates to vote, because I certainly don't think that 17 people should be making the reunion date decision for 200 plus people. So the more the merrier. Having said that, we do have a reunion date, and that date is August the 7th, 2015. It's firm. We can't, him and her, this is the third meeting. So by this point, we really should decide that this is something that we're ready to do and that we're going to go forward. So what I am going to do is I'm going to add a reunion countdown clock to our group page on Facebook. I'm also going to put a blast out on my personal Facebook page for Class of '85 members to please pay attention to what's going on in the Facebook group, because what we're not getting is, I'm just not getting stronger participation as I thought I would. So, and we're starting and we have more than enough time. So let's kind of, get on the floor with that, and let's keep it moving. All right. If you have any questions about that, shoot me. But August 7th it is, and I believe that's the first weekend in August. So plan your calendars accordingly, your schedules accordingly, and we're going to go forward with that date. I think it's great because I can get to call a few places to do save the dates, and also I want us to consider reunion. Reunion package for some of the hotels that we were considering. All right. Do I have any questions so far? Not. I'll move on to the next item. We have reunion committees. So last week I put up the information about the different committees. Some of the challenges around that is that now that we have a date, I think we should move forward. I'm going back into some of my emails to really look at like some of the information and people who wanted to volunteer. I got hit up from so many different angles around who wants to volunteer, who wants to do what, that I couldn't quite, pull it all together. So the best thing that I'm going to do is to send out a kind of like information form, and you fill that out and just fill it out really quickly. You can do it on your email and mail it back to the new group email that I've set up for us, so that I don't get bombarded personally in my personal emails with lots of class of '85 information. So we'll get back to that. What's going to be first and foremost is that important in terms of the reunion committees is that I really want people who can chair those committees with a particular expertise and is really to kind of sort of roll up their sleeves and hit the ground running. So I already mentioned in the last meeting sort of describing what each committee was about: finance and treasury, outreach, entertainment, and ambassador groups. And the chairs of those committees will go on to help form the executive committee, so that we make decisions around communications, everything from communications to basically what we want this thing to look like and the work it gets carried out. So I would like for you to refer to your handouts from the last meeting that describes what each one of those committees are about, and make your decisions accordingly. If nothing else, I really want us to focus on the outreach committee. I would really want us to think about the outreach committee. And I say that because we have so many people in the class who are all around the country, and we need to do a better job at making sure that we stay connected and that we know what's happening, not only locally in terms of what's going on in Hempstead and what's going on with Hempstead High School, but also what's going on with each other. And the outreach committee should be that committee where we can centralize basic biographical information about all class members, for those who are living, those who are no longer with us, where we are in terms of jobs. Some of us, we're getting up there in age, and, retirement is starting to peek its head over the horizon. So all those things are things like the outreach committee would keep up. And more importantly, an outreach committee is probably going to last us for the next reunions and the next reunions, because all of that information will be there. So I want people to think wholeheartedly about the value of that committee, because most likely it will carry us into the next reunion, to our 35th reunion, and maybe the 40th, and so on and so forth. Entertainment, finance, and treasury, and the ambassador groups will specifically be clearly for the '85 events. And that is that, those committees will exist just pretty much for the duration of reunion planning, no more, no less. I did get a lot of information and a lot of good ideas and a lot of hands raised about entertainment. And I want people to think about, kind of what entertainment means. I want us to step our game up. I don't want us to do what's already been done. I think what I want us to do is something worthy of a class of our caliber. So let's step the game up. And I'm going to ask those people who were interested in being in the entertainment committee to really think about, creating a memorable event, and also think about the price, and also think about sort of the precedent that we'll be setting once we do something that's, fantastic. Because, I'm sort of this, high achiever here, and I want us to like hit that mark, because I want folks to take a step back. This is not just a meeting where we're going to come together for a day and party and everybody go back to the events, but I want us to also add, have a lot of fun. So I got a question from Shiloh. Where is the link to get on? If you go to the Facebook page in the group setting, the link is there. Is anybody else having problems with the links? Please let me know, but the links are there. Entertainment, so I was talking about ambassador groups. The other thing is that there are significant numbers of Class of '85 members down in Atlanta. So I think what I'm going to do is put Cheryl Teasley DeSore on the spot and ask her to take the lead in terms of coordinating reunion activities for class members down in Atlanta. Lots of ideas were thrown my way from people who don't live in Atlanta, but they were saying, maybe the Atlanta folks can coordinate a bus and they all come up to. I'll talk to Cheryl about that. I'm going to see that if she would be interested in hosting some reunion events or meetings at her home, because I could count of at least 10 people I know who are in our class who live in Atlanta. So the idea then is to try to get those folks there. My Hempstead people, I know there are a lot of us there in Hempstead and on Long Island, period. We need folks to be ground runners. So there may be times when, some of us can't get to the Marriott for a particular event, or some of us can't get to Hempstead High School to do, to meet with administrators there, but we need people who are already in Hempstead who can run those errands for us or take those tasks on. So I would greatly appreciate if I had any volunteers for Hempstead. If not, I'll beg a few favors. I know some people still there. Stacy Brooks, Stacy Hill. I may ask her to kind of chair that and lead that. So sort of there you have it. The other thing is I'm working as we progress on developing not so much a web page, but a different portal where we can bring Class of '85 information in. So I did set up a new group email, and all questions retaining to the reunion should go to that email, and that's hhs85tigers@gmail.com. The next reunion meeting will be set up using that moniker. So if you're on Google or Google Plus, add HHS 85 Tigers to your circle, and you'll be able to get a lot of the stuff in real time or live. Do we have any other questions? Then you can, if you have any questions about the minutes, if you haven't had a chance to review the minutes, you can always submit questions to hhs85tigers@gmail.com. That stuff will be in there as well. You can send email questions. You can email questions there as well going forward. This way, it just keeps things separates me from, my personal email and things like that from reunion activities. I don't know. Let me just check to see if I have viewers of any questions. hold on. Let's try to get. Sorry. Sorry, trying to respond to some of the Facebook questions I'm getting. Something's off again. I gotta come up with some better technology. All right, Evelyn, I got your message. Perfect. I will certainly be hitting you up on the inbox and getting on with that. Who else I got? All right, I got Michael, Sonia. You know, the funniest thing is that I keep forgetting that our female classmates don't have the same last names that I remember them by. So I see Sonia Stevens, and I'm like, who the hell is Sonia Stevens? And I'm like, oh, Sonia Shelton. Right. So I get bad with that. So I might mess it up a few times, but I promise I'll get better. So what I'm going to do is set up the going forward, I'm going to set up the volunteer list now that we have a date on the class web page on Facebook. There will be a countdown feature added, so it just keeps us on our toes and let us know that we don't have a lot of time, because I need everybody on on board. And in addition to that, I will always say, at a minimum, please reach out to a class member who's not on Facebook or who is in the group but has not responded to anything. I know there are a lot of you out there. I just need to know if you guys are okay with moving forward with the reunion, because with 17 people participating in the voting, that doesn't bode well. And more importantly, I know lots of people want to be kept abreast of reunion activities, and I keep telling them exactly where to go to look for that information. So I say all of that to say that we all are responsible for the reunion happening. Again, I don't have a problem spearheading anything, but I want you guys at a minimum to get at least one person on board with this. And let's use our Facebook group page as a tool to stay connected. That's what it's there for, all right? So I'm not going to hold you much longer. We all have, wanted you to enjoy the rest of your Saturday evening, and look forward to the next items that I have. But we do have a reunion date, and that date is August the 7th, 2015. That's it. All right? Thank you very much. Thank you for your time, and I really appreciate all that you've done so far and your suggestions. Thank you very much.